This is Movies, a podcast by the Active Cinema, and with me today, he's only drank 1 liter of blood. It is Hans.
Ooh, happy Tuesday. I like that he kept that voice, by the way. That was my favorite thing about the movie that we're going to talk about, that he sounded like the Count from Sesame Street.
Well, what do you want? The Count from Sesame Street sounds like Dracula. This is Dracula.
Okay. But he was very close very close to the Count, very stereotypical Romani, I guess, or what you expect that to sound like. I didn't mind it. I liked it. I thought it was funny every time he spoke. And he's like, oh, he's being menacing, but with a voice. Or, I'm gonna suck your blood. It's like, yep. I wish Nosferatu had that voice.
Well, Nosferatu had his own voice, All right, so first of all, before we even touch the movie we're talking about tonight, we just concluded, well, you just concluded a vacation for the Spotify viewers and Apple Podcasts. You took a week off for Michael Lewis Haspin and I to talk about Castration movie, for Eddington to finally be discussed again without you.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
How was the vacation? I
back.
heard you went to the Philippines.
Yeah, I'm back from the hospital. I had to reduce the size of my penis. It was too big. It was uncomfortable.
That's strange they do that surgery in the Philippines, of all places.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean? They're experts when it comes to small penises earlier.
I suppose so. All right, you got a point there. Well, we just concluded our October Spook series right before that, which was a roaring success. I want to say thank you to everybody who signed up for the listener-sponsored tier of that month. I think what we're going to wind up doing in the next several months is coming up with different themes that we can apply so people can sign up for a discounted amount of money compared to the $100 pick whatever film you want tier. And it doesn't necessarily have to be aligned with the time of the year. Just because December is coming up, that doesn't mean we're going to do a Christmas series, although that would be pretty opportune.
Mhm.
November, we're in November now. It's November 4th. Today's voting day in New York. They were recording this episode.
Did you
And
go? Did you go vote for Curtis?
I would vote for Curtis, but I'm actually
Yeah.
registered to vote in Massachusetts.
Ah,
So
but you can't. So you can't vote for New York mayor, can
I'm
you?
just a passenger here.
Okay. You're no local. You're a fake local.
I
You're a
like,
fake New Yorker.
my sensibilities about voting. I have no faith that they would ever align with what the majority of New York City would vote for. So
Mm.
I'm just I'm gonna ride this one out, and I'm getting the hell out of here pretty soon anyway, sooner than later. It's just a matter of, okay, well, for those who are watching on video, you notice my background is not the traditional movie studio. This is part of the movies studios in New York City. It's a different part of it. I am going to be figuring out how to relocate things and create a new set for the show. That is going to be the first big thing going into 2026 when it comes to this program. And I've got some ideas about how we can recalibrate the podcast because I think it's good to hit the refresh button every so often, as Red Bar does. Although Red Bar's episodes are like once every 4 months these days. I don't think that's good. But a big thing for me, I think, is as the listenership is growing and hopefully more income continues to come in with the program, it's time to level up. It's time to add to the production value of what this show can potentially bring, and especially for a disposable medium. So maybe it needs to transform itself, transform mediums, something to think about and look into.
Are
Much
you?
like Vlad Dracula has transformed over the decades. What was the question you're going to throw in there?
I'm moving to North Carolina with Kumia.
We're going to be joining the Compound Censored Network. I actually started
Compound
watching.
2.
I started watching Gavin again like today. So it's funny you say that. Kumia did pop
Gavin.
up on my TV for a brief moment for the first
Don't
time
they
in
have a
years.
show? Don't they have a show together?
Yeah. That's what Compound Censored is. Compound. I don't know if they're like permanently merging their business together, but they have a crossover show, which is smart for both of them. They should have done
Yeah.
that a long time ago. The stupidest thing that ever happened in retrospect between those two guys is Gavin leaving Kumia's network to go work for the Blaze when they fired him a year later, and then he got deplatformed off of everything
Yeah.
because he created the Proud Boys. So
What was it? Uncensored.tv or whatever?
that I believe it's censored.tv is his
Oh,
website.
censored. Yeah.
You know, I if I didn't hear like if I feel like I didn't have heard everything Gavin has had to say about everything, I would say we should get him on the show to talk about something. One of because he is a culture guy. He's a pop culture guy, but I just feel like he's one of these dudes who's kind of juiced himself like Kevin Smith has, where it's like you
Mm,
already you know every
you know.
perspective that's going to be
Hmm.
stated. So what can really be added here? What do you think he'd say about Dracula?
That it's gay. That he wouldn't do that for a woman. He wouldn't sacrifice himself because who's going to take care of that woman? No one. So it's better for her to die so he can get a new woman that he can take care of.
Maybe. I don't know. What drives Dracula? It's kind of hard to say. No one's really fully explored that. Oh, wait, yes, they have for the last 100
Yeah,
years.
right. He feels guilty and he wants to bring his wife back because he misses it.
I don't know if I like the idea of Dracula as anything other than a monster. Oh,
Hmm.
speaking of which, you know what I went to go see in the theater this last week for Halloween? I went to go see Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Oh,
It
nice.
was a
That's the
35
secret
millimeter
movie.
print. That was the, well,
Th-
secret movie. What secret movie?
I'm just
Secret
saying
movie?
secret. You couldn't tell me. You can tell me because
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
couldn't tell.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that,
yeah. So
which, by the way, they don't meet Frankenstein in the movie. So that's kind of
oh,
false. Frankenstein's monster is there, right? But like Frankenstein's monster is hardly in that film. He's in a box for the first third of it, and he's walking around and stuff. But there's really a Dracula movie. It's the only other time Bela Lugosi played Dracula in a film. So it's the only canon sequel. It goes Dracula, Abbott and Costello
never.
meet Frankenstein.
How come there's no Dracula in that title?
I don't know. I mean, I think I maybe
Especially,
Frankenstein was just like the hotter commodity in 1948 or something.
well, especially if you got Lugosi, right? That's weird. What happens in the movie then if they don't meet Frankenstein? Well, I guess they do meet him, but that's not. It's a weird choice for a title if that's not like the main point of it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess if you know, Frankenstein's kind of like the Superman, Dracula's kind of like the Batman.
Right, right. Yeah, well, I guess when it comes to old titles, I guess you have stuff like Duck Soup too, right? It doesn't have to make sense.
Duck
So it's like,
Soup.
okay. Yeah, isn't that
That was the Marx Brothers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, ti nonsensical titles that are just like, okay, like
There
it doesn't
wasn't
have
no
to. It's
Frankenstein
whatever.
and Duck Soup. Anyway, you know, Dracula, a Love Tale is from the auteur, Luc Besson. And I have to say, I've never had an opinion ever about Luc Besson. And I actually don't know if I've even watched a movie of his besides Subway.
Leon, Fifth Element.
I've never seen Leon, never seen Fifth Element. I've seen bits and pieces of
Oh,
Fifth Element when it was on Sci Fi Channel. That's it.
uh, damn. Okay, Taken. He did Taken.
Yeah, he did the Taken
Okay.
movies, I believe. He did Taken, he did Valkyrian with Dane DeHaan and the other heroin addict.
Oh, okay. Arthur and the Great Adventure. Arthur 3,
Mm-hmm.
Arthur 2.
He's got a big like blockbustery pop culture film filmography. He's definitely somebody who's well established, but on the whole, I've never sat down and like been like, "Oh, Luc Besson, I got to check that out." But he is like a Baz Luhrmann style maximalist filmmaker, so I can appreciate that. With this film of his is one that you actually recommended we do a show on months ago. And
Did it?
so, yeah, you did. You said, "Hey, there's a new Dracula out." And there's actually two Draculas. Now, technically, this is a 2026 film, so this is going to be labeled 2026. We got a courtesy screener because Hans is friends. Luc Besson is actually his uncle, but you guys
Oh yeah.
consider each other friends.
Yeah, because he did things. Wait, why is it a 2026 movie?
Well, it
What?
doesn't come out in America until next year.
Ah, yeah, because he's out everywhere else. He's just not in the States. I guess I think it even premiered here in that art theater that I go to sometimes. and they just okay, February next year. Uh, yeah. What's the other Dracula movie?
Dracula from, I believe the director's name is Raoul Jude or something. And it's one of these, not really, it's a free form movie. It kind of reminds me of our Robocop remake, if you remember that. It's a bunch
Yep.
of different takes on Dracula. And I believe it was shot in Transylvania or partially shot in Transylvania.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Well, that looks interesting, I guess. It says yeah, Dracula film made in Transylvania. A vampire hunt, zombies, and Dracula crushing a strike. Science fiction story about Vlad the Impaler coming back. Okay. Should we do an episode on that
Fuck no,
too?
absolutely not. Nope. I watched the trailer to it today, and it was maybe the most frustrating, aggravating thing
Uh,
I've borne witness to in a
hmm.
while in the film medium, because this film has actually been screened pretty frequently around New York City at the art theaters. The Roxy was playing it. It's gotten good reviews. People on Letterboxd like it. And watching that trailer told me everything I needed to know. It had hints of uh, Kaveh Zahedi in it. It had hints of
Hmm.
the Our RoboCop remake, kind of botched. We don't want to commit to one thing. It's just for comedy. It's da 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 da, and it doesn't look especially well put together. I don't like the packaging of it. I don't like any of the humor in it. It's like it's a Dracula movie, and then they cut to like some pathetic guy getting spanked by a dominatrix.
Oh, that type of trash.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
type of
yeah.
like just okay. Yeah, where it's just like irredeemable garbage for no reason. It's like the horny movies from like the 60s, 70s, where it's just like it's just a reason for girls to show their tits. Benny Hill, remember Benny Hill?
Yeah. Benny Hill. That's classic though by comparison.
Yeah.
The original is always classic by comparison to its derivatives, right?
But wasn't that show like the humor was that, whatever happens and then I think Benny Hill was just a fat man and then had women with big titties just prancing around for no reason other than to show them, I guess. Like that was the whole bit
Yeah,
of the
pretty
show. And
much. Pretty much. It
yep,
was a reason for him to be around busty, semi-nude women.
good for Benny Hill.
Benny Hill never got into the let's make a parody film game like Abbott and Costello did or the Marx Brothers. Benny Hill could have done like a Hammer horror film. That could have been an
I'm sur
avenue for him.
I'm actually kind of surprised that they haven't remade something or made something about his life or something. I wonder if there's some type of like dark story there that, you know, no one wants to explore because he usually, I mean, what's his name from Man of the Moon? Kaufman. Andy Kaufman got a movie 30 years ago, and was Andy Kaufman as big as Benny Hill was? Maybe not in the States, but like everywhere else. So I wonder if there's any type of darkness there that just people don't want to really dig into or
What
something,
do you
or
think he
reason
was
why.
Jimmy Seville but for curvy women?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just wondering. Like, it's weird because it's like a recognizable name. And how many British comedians from the what, 60s, 50s do you know? Abbott and Costello. Were they
British
British?
comedians from the 60s? Monty
Yeah.
Python. Uh,
Yep.
that's it.
Benny Hill. Benny
Benny
Hill.
Hill.
And that's it. Mr. Bean. No, he's not that
No,
old.
he's from
But
the 80s.
right, but compare how Monty Python is seen, even though I think they're kind of overrated. But
I would agree with
they're
that.
seen as like this legend.
Oh, well, we wouldn't know, Hans. Unfortunately, your microphone's cut out abruptly. So strange.
Ah,
It's okay.
ah.
You're good. You're good now.
I said maybe not so much anymore, but I mean, no one talks about Benny Hill. We should bring Benny Hill back. Hey, let's do one of those things where we talk about something and for whatever reason, oh, now they're doing a Benny Hill movie. That's happened a couple of times. Well, you have to do it because you're the one that's
I'm not doing the
been
Benny
to
Hill
before.
movie. Nah, if you want to bring back Benny Hill, you do that. I'll produce it, I guess, and you have to gain the weight to play Benny Hill.
We have MLH. You don't want MLH to be Benny
He's too
Hill?
young. That's too young for Benny Hill, and he's American. He's never spent a second in England.
Fuck.
This is
Um,
on you. And it'll be like Ana de Armas playing Marilyn Monroe.
I mean, okay. I'll gain the weight. Fine. I'll suffer. Well, I will probably lose my how can I gain weight with diabetes without losing my feet?
You just
I
got to
think
eat
that's
a
the
bunch
challenge.
of fatty meats.
Uh,
You got to eat
well,
like healthy fats. You got to be.
just
I mean, that's the only solution, right?
just eating nuts all day. Pause.
But I don't think you would. I mean, nuts are obviously they're high in calories. They're high in. Are they high in fat? Or it's like a. I don't know. I don't think it would actually take to you the same way.
No.
Do you have problem
No.
foods where if you eat it, like the weight comes easier, or like the sluggishness will come easier as a result of consuming it?
No, just beer, honestly. Like because I don't really eat anything that shitty anymore. When I gain weight, it's usually because I've been, drinking for a week or something, and then my back fat starts forming.
Oh
But
no.
yeah. But but no, nothing really. Nothing really because it makes me feel like shit if I do it, Like one time I ate a baguette and I was hurting for like an hour and a half. So after that, I was like, I'm not doing this shit. Like, I don't know how people do that thing where, they lose their feet and they still eat like they did before. I'm just like, that shit hurts. Not losing your feet, like when you have diabetes and you eat something like that, you start fucking sweating cold and you feel disoriented and lightheaded and it sucks. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
That's something I definitely I think I was right on the same knocking on the same door as you because when you told me all of your symptoms, I
symptoms.
was like, "Oh fuck. I feel like this every single day. Why do I need a nap every single day? Why do I need a
You're like,
nap
huh.
right after I'm done eating dinner and the dinner's not like especially heavy or bad?"
Yeah, when I'm done eating that, when I'm done drinking that Dunkin' Donuts Coolata with 5 sugars, I feel shitty. That's weird. When I have all that caramel in my donut. Yeah, no, but you fixed it, right?
I
You didn't get to
definitely
the
fixed
point
it.
of,
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
wound up dropping between here and I don't think you can really tell because I feel like my face shape always stays the same. But I dropped a little over 20 pounds between November 2024 when we were shooting Disorderly and when I weighed in when I was down in Florida when I was going through my health scare.
oh yeah,
Which that made me quit. That spooked me out of cigarettes for good. I'm done with that. I'm done smoking. And thank God I'm fucking actually good now. I was sick for 2 months. 2 months. My throat was swelling up. My throat was just getting scratchy all the
yeah,
time. If I was doing a podcast like this, you can probably listen to any of the
yeah,
last
yeah,
several episodes and tell. I would start getting kind of hoarse. And now I'm like actually good. And I've been good for a week and that's the
yeah.
longest I've stayed good. So
He started writing his will. He started leaving
I
things
I
for.
know, but like I did have a moment on my way to the doctor because I hadn't been to a doctor in like 15 years, and I'm down in
Yep.
Florida. I think I'm about to be setting up this Miami screening and all that, and like I'm literally just struggling to fucking swallow. Breathing's difficult, and I'm in the car in the Uber. Heading an hour and a half out of Miami to like some Indian family doctor in Fort Lauderdale, and I'm just like, fuck, I fucked up this whole thing. I should have done X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. Oh no, da 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 da. And you gotta not fall back asleep after you're lucky enough to get out of those situations. That's the biggest thing, is you go right back to the same habits, and that's what I did. I was like, all right, anyway, I'm gonna have some drinks with my antibiotics now. That was a big mistake.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
because they don't work if you have alcohol, right?
Well,
Uh,
it's not that they don't work. They don't help, but you're putting yourself at like risk of stomach bleeding and a bunch of other problems. So
So how long after the doctor recommended gurgling water with shit did your throat feel better?
That doctor was actually a hell of a lot better than my New York doctor. I got like an evil gay guy doctor in New York. And I was like, yeah, because I was really concerned because there's a problem with thyroidism that runs in my family. And I was like, I'd really like to get an ultrasound on my thyroid just in case here, if that's obstructing my windpipe or something. And he was like, yeah, but I don't think it's your thyroid. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I just like to do it. Well, I don't think your insurance is going to cover it. I was like, I don't have insurance. I'm paying out of pocket. He's like, oh, even better. She's like, I don't need you to get fucking quippy, witty,
Sassy.
snarky, assholey with
Yeah.
me. I'm paying your fucking your bill you're giving me. That's like priced 4 times the amount for less help than what the guy in Florida did for me.
Yeah.
Um,
How did you get TV show gay as your doctor? Was he like, oh, your throat hurts? Your throat? You think is your thyroid, but it's your throat?
mhm.
No, you
Yeah.
get any of those?
This he
Like,
basically told me to go buy Flonase because there's a corticosteroid in there.
mm,
And yeah, it didn't do a fucking thing. Asshole. Lost $35 buying Flonase, taking Flonase for no reason. Great.
yeah.
And oh, that reminds me, I also discovered why DC wears his nose bandage. Did I ever tell you?
Oh no, no. What?
So
What is it?
DC's nose bandage is something of lore that has just
Mm.
puzzled people for generations. They wonder, why does he wear that? Is it like Bane where you rip it off and he'll deflate, he'll suddenly crumple up into a ball? And I recently came across this product that I was advertised on like YouTube and Instagram where it opens up your nasal passageway if you have a deviated septum. And I have a deviated septum. And as
It like
soon as I
pulls it
put it
out, right?
on,
It's
mm-hmm,
like a magnet that pulls it
yes,
up.
that's right. Using
Mm.
magnets, it opens your nasal passageway. And I bought one of those, tried it. I was like, I'm getting scammed here, but fuck it, why not? No, I wasn't getting scammed. It was the real deal. I could breathe
Oh
out of
shit.
my right nostril for the first time in like 20, I don't know, at least 15 years. So
Jesus, what's wrong with you? What do you
I
mean you
don't
have
know.
15 years and not being able to breathe? And you're just
Well,
like,
you
well,
got one good
I,
nostril, one bad nostril.
you're just like, well, I guess I have one for the rest of my life.
Yeah, well, it sneaks up on you, right? You get stuffy one day and then it just gets stuffier and then it doesn't stop getting stuffy. So,
Mm.
yeah, no, I got one of those. It worked. I was able to breathe through my nose. I was like, "Oh my God, this is such a legitimate game changer." It's crazy how night and day this is in how you feel and how you're able to just like, I don't know, think
So,
even.
so, so,
So,
so where is it?
I got
Put
it
it
over
on.
by the. I'm not putting it on right now.
Oh,
But
okay.
what I realized was DC's nose bandage. Clearly, he's got nothing serious wrong with it. I've seen him without it on. He doesn't have any scars. He doesn't have like an injury on his nose. So he must be wearing one of those and covering it up with a bandage. And so I messaged him. I was like, DC, do you have a deviated septum? And he just said, yes, LOL. I was like, "You got one of these on under there, don't you?" And he's like, "What? Nah, man. That's lame. It's just a breathe right strip."
Hmm.
But then I started analyzing my photos of him in close up from these screenings, and I was like, "But it does have the wraparound circle over here on this side and this side. Like, ah,
I remember one day, didn't he show up one day with one of the sides kind of flopping up, like because he had it for a couple of days on or something,
ah,
and
yes,
right?
something like that."
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think I think the secret that's maybe why he actually got out of podcasting games before that could come out. In which case I understand. Glenn Rockney's taking credit for having him retire from podcasting because of the last episode we ever did was an entourage episode where I was kind of like the moderator between these two guys
Oh,
in their opinions of the show. But anyway,
so he destroyed him in that debate so bad that he quit. Damn. Gotta listen to that.
I think it's a solid episode. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Dracula, A Love Tale. Now, this is, again, coming in the same year as the other Dracula movie, and also less than a year after Nosferatu from Robert Eggers. And that movie takes kind of a similar approach in some ways. It's kind of like if you gave two directors the same outline and said, "Here you go. Go do your version of this." It's borrowing a bit visually from Coppola with
Mm.
Bram Stoker's Dracula. Um, just kind of an
Especially
yeah.
the look of old Dracula is very much like what's his name from Commissioner Gordon from Dracula. Uh, what's Dracula the Brave and the Bold? What's the movie called? Dracula.
Dead and Loving It.
Yeah, what is it? What's that
Which
Dracula
one are you thinking
called?
about?
The one with the boobs, the boob
That was
hair.
Bram Stoker's Dracula. It was Gary Oldman's
Bram
Dracula.
Stoker's. That's what it's called. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Brave and the Bold. Dracula, the Brave and the Bold. You some of the even like the costumes I think must be inspired by that one too, because
Oh
you
yeah,
you
yeah.
get a lot of those rugged looking dresses and big hairs and things like that. But yeah, I can see the similarities um with Nosferatu. This one's just a lot less horror, I guess.
This one is not a horror movie, I would say,
No.
at all. It's got traditional horror elements and
Mhm.
gothic elements, which are kind of inevitable if you're doing a Dracula movie, right? But the approach is much more. It just reminded me like this would be a '90s blockbuster if this was released in theaters in America. This would be the same thing you would get if you had gone to the cinema in 1996, 1997. I found that refreshing in a sense. What was your take on this film? You can start off.
What's it? Uh, did you feel it was kind of Interview with a Vampire-ish at times?
In what way?
Um, I don't know. It's the only vampire movie that I could think of from the 90s. So that's why I
There's a good
throw it
amount
out.
of vampire movies from the '90s. They got mm,
Mhm.
well,
Vampires? Was that
John
2000s?
Carpenter's Vampires. No, that's '98. Dracula
Okay.
Dead and Loving It was the Mel Brooks parody film.
Um, Blade, right?
Yeah.
99?
Okay. No, that was 90, 98,
Uh,
97, 98.
um, mm, oh, Queen of the Damned, was that
That
2000s?
was 2000s.
Okay. Uh,
Let me
okay.
see.
Well,
Well, it doesn't
it definitely
matter.
doesn't remind me of Interview from the
How about Buffy the
With the
Vampire
Vampire.
Slayer from Dusk Till Dawn? Kronos,
Buffy without Buffy, right?
which some would say that's the better Buffy.
The one with
Paul
Stephanie
Rubens.
Tanner.
Yeah.
No, what's her name?
No, she wasn't in that.
No, what's the girl's name that was big and when that movie came out and then disappeared? Isn't it wasn't Alicia Silverstone, was it?
No, 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 no. You're getting it all confused. It was Christy Swanson, I think, was the name of the
Christy
actress,
Swanson. So it was. Yeah, yeah,
who I don't think was
yeah.
like that famous.
I I uh I enjoyed this not entirely. I don't think I liked it as much as you did. I saw your review. I I kind of like my Dracula to be more of a predator, kind of like I think you said that. I don't know if you said this on this one or on the one that we recorded and quit. But I like it when he's a little bit more menacing. I think here you get a performance of like a young Dracula at the beginning, and he's a romantic and he's in love with his girl, and all this happens and blah blah blah. And then he turns when he can't save her, when he's fighting, I guess, I don't know, Genghis Khan. Is that the same period of time? Because they look like um what are the Mongolians, right? And they kill his girl, and then he
Well,
turns.
hold on a second. That's not exactly 100%. They've got his girl in a comparable position, and he goes to stab the guy, and it winds up going through his
Well,
chest and
yeah,
into his
her.
love interest.
Well, he's going to save her and then stop killing her, I guess.
Yes. Which, by the
Uh,
way, huge missed opportunity to have that repeat again at the very end. That was like the thing that really
mhm.
stuck in my craw that I think would have been um, a fantastic ending. Is he listens? It would have been a more nihilistic ending than I think they were going
Yeah.
for. because you have
instead of a
Christoph Waltz.
sacrifice.
Yes, if you have, let's just jump ahead real quick so I can get
Yeah.
this point out. That beginning coming back around at the end, where you have Christoph Waltz talking Vlad Dracula into do it for her, and then he has to get staked. She's pounding on the wall. You could have had Christoph stake Dracula and it go into her and kill her like we started the movie. That's not how it ends. And also, if we're thinking realistically, they had some thick ass wooden doors back then. That probably wouldn't
Yeah.
happen. But cinematically, that would have
Yeah.
been the great nihilist ending. But sorry, continue
Yeah.
with your summary here. Yes, he
Yeah.
accidentally
Yeah.
kills his girl at the beginning.
Bring it back around because I didn't like the sacrifice at the end. I didn't. It didn't make sense, for him to just be like, well, I'll do the sacrifice so that you can live since I killed you before or whatever, which I guess is a message that they're trying to convey. I didn't care for that. Now, I'm not the biggest Dracula fan. I think when it comes to the original Universal monsters, I don't know, that might be my least favorite because it's the
Really?
horniest.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the Wolfman and I like the Creature of the Black Lagoon the most, I think. And maybe that's why I dislike all the newer Wolfman movies that they make. But I like the way that this is shot. I think I really like the aspects of the performances that I mean, like you. I'm not a huge fan of Luc Besson or even familiar or seen most of his movies, but I felt like the performances were kind of comedic in a good way without trying to be, or maybe they just felt that way to me. But I feel like that Christoph Waltz was playing Van Helsing, right? Or a character
Essentially,
that's
not a
Van
one to
Helsing-ish.
one, not a one to one
Yeah,
portrayal of Van Helsing. He's just known as Priest, but it's
right.
pretty much the Van Helsing character.
Uh, I feel like every time he talks, feels like he's kind of like winking at the camera, so like, oh, isn't this silly? But without actually doing that, and I don't mind it. Like
Well,
I feel.
I think
Yeah,
that's Christoph Waltz being like, "Can you believe I took this paycheck?"
yeah, and like I felt it through his performance, but I didn't mind it. I thought he went well in this universe of like a more emotional Dracula, like a more instead of more sinister, instead of a more menacing Nosferatu, like the Eggers Nosferatu like creature where he's just afraid if he shows up. Here, I think the one scene where he shows up and someone knows that or the person knows that he's Dracula, she falls for his charm immediately and fucks her. It's when
Yeah.
when he comes through the window and after our Van Helsing hero and the other guy told her that he's a vampire pretty much, and then he's just like, well, what? I guess I'll just jump through the window. And she's like, no, I don't want you to die and fuck me. And then he fucks her, and he's just like, that's it. That's all I took. There was no at no point it felt like a creepy Dracula, and that's fine. Like if that's the type the Dracula that you want to portray, I'm perfectly fine with that. Especially when you get someone like what's his name? Landry
Caleb Landry
Jones,
Jones.
Caleb Landry Jones, who has a very vampire-y look to him, I think. So that fits. Even though I'm not a huge fan of that look with the long hair and the hat, I think that looked kind of Tommy Wiseau-ish, kind of goofy. But yeah, I think I guess I was expecting a little bit more creepy, and what I got was kind of like a gothic romance that again I didn't really mind that much, but I didn't care for like the last 10 minutes, I think, where everything starts when everything starts wrapping up after the violence, because close to the end of the movie turns violent in a way that it hasn't been violent before, other than the initial scene, I guess. But then, yeah, the decisions at the end where he just like sacrifices himself in a very mild, very whatever way, I feel like it made it feel like unearned, that ending.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that. I think we could have used a little more buildup and maybe a little more coherence in terms of, okay, well, if what has happened here, well, actually, you know what? Maybe I'm figuring it out in my head as I'm thinking this opinion out because I was like, okay, well, Christoph Waltz's character, the priest, what he says to him is that Dracula has damned his love. Her name's what? Elizabeta
Hmm.
slash Mina. Yeah. Um, because she's been reincarnated. If Dracula's correct, right? If this is the girl, the same girl that he
Right.
used to love, then she's been reincarnated, which means she must be damned because she's not in heaven, right? She's not in hell
Hmm.
or heaven. She's been reincarnated after 400 years. And that's his doing, his influence. And so for him to sacrifice himself for her well being in the end would be to release her from that cycle, potentially, right? That's not explicitly stated, but that's the only thing that would make sense there,
Sense.
given these two clashing thoughts of, okay, well, you want us to believe in the Catholic, the Christian God, and how that works. Well, reincarnation's not a factor there,
Hmm.
but we have the element of him discovering Jonathan Harker's wife, and we're to believe based off of what we're given that that is actually the case. She was reincarnated because she's
Right.
getting these flashes
Hmm.
of the history with him from when he was just Vlad the Impaler. Okay, um, interesting, but we need a little more clarity, I think, on that end for it to
Yeah.
feel more like a righteous ending for that
But it
character.
also does he set up those rules where if he sacrifices himself, she's saved? Because I don't remember
They
that.
keep it vague because I don't think like
Okay.
well this is just what I'm saying is to have reincarnation and the Christian ideology of because the priest says to him, he's like, you will be in peace with God forever. Okay, but that's not what happened to her, and she was mostly innocent, right? She got like
Right.
technically she was murdered, accidental homicide,
Hmm.
and was involved in this conflict that was going on. So why she that's enough to damn her? Okay. I mean,
Right.
I can go along with that. But no, it leaves you to figure these things out on your own. Because the other like I said, the only thing there is okay, well these two things do not mesh in terms
Yeah.
of the ideology behind them. I really like Caleb Landry Jones in this role. I got to be honest with you. The first 20 minutes, I was like, why did I put this movie on? Why did I throw this on? This is not. I know for a fact this is not my cup of tea to see Dracula being Dracula in some other shape, or being Vlad the Impaler. That does not interest me. I like Dracula Gothic. I like him in the realm of horror. This is not that movie, and they don't try to make it that movie. And
Yeah.
actually, my opinion started to shift once we do have the introduction of the Jonathan character who goes to visit him, and you're introduced to what Dracula looks like 400 years later, and they take a page out of Gary Oldman, Francis
Hmm.
Coppola, Bram Stoker's Dracula handbook, where
Ashy.
he's very dry. He's quite
Yeah.
dry. It looks like the one ghost in Scrooged, you know?
Yeah.
I like that, and it
Really.
recaptured my attention. I think
Yeah. He
his
looks like that.
ghouls, his gargoyles, that was an
Hmm.
interesting change from doing the Brides of Dracula. He's got, I guess, one he's infected who's extremely horny in the. They just put her in the insane asylum because she's so horny.
So funny. Pussy going crazy. You know what
Yes.
reminded me of those gargoyles of? The stone creatures from Noah.
Oh, whoa, yeah. You know what?
Yeah, where I
Yeah,
was like, why? I was like, don't why? What's the point of this? Don't, it looks bad. Don't do this.
it's a little
Uh,
too much. I mean, this is what I mean by like '90s CG, '90s
yeah.
movie blockbuster is like an indulgence like that feels very of that time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Where it's
not
like there's
something
no
you see.
reason. There,
Yeah.
there's no reason for this, but we have the technology now, so we have to add the little gargoyles. And it's like, you don't,
Well,
don't really.
it comes back around with the gargoyle servants in a
Yeah,
very creepy way, a
they go
very like
nuts.
eerie way at the very end when everyone is freed from Dracula's spell and you're like, okay, all the vampire girls are no longer horny. And then the gargoyles are all little boys that he's
Yep.
captured to serve him with their heads shaved and they're like pretty much nude. It's like, what the fuck was Dracula doing? This is like when they
Who the
confiscate somebody's hard drive after they die. This is the
It's like,
1800s equivalent of that.
who the fuck was I rooting for this whole movie? What
Yeah,
the fuck?
exactly. Yes. Dracula, no. What?
Yeah,
Oh
those are
man.
weird rules that have not been established before. It's a new age for Dracula, I guess.
Dracula
Don't
loves
like it.
women and underage boys.
Who's
Haunting.
turning these boys? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, but I was like,
Wait,
what? Whoa.
how do you, because they're not turning into vampires, they're turning into gargoyles. So
My
what's the
my
process
understanding.
there?
Look, and from Dracula, I read the book Dracula when I was like 17 or 18 years old. It's been a long time, so most of that is gone, and I probably
Destroyed.
replaced it with like movie stuff. So my understanding was always just Dracula has his brides that he keeps around the
Hmm.
castle that he's
Yeah.
converted, and they're there to help him seduce men or women just to be sexual, and they're like whatever, they're his slaves. But
Yeah.
this one has gargoyles that are little boys. What is I don't know. uh Very, very terrifying stuff, honestly.
I can't find anything online about it either. It's
That
just
was,
like,
I
oh,
think,
it's
yeah, I
just
think that was a Luc Besson
it's just
touch.
yeah, it's just, what's weird about that? I'm French.
Well, it really shades that Dracula character in a new light, I would say.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. Or
you know,
was it
okay,
Vlad, the one that was doing that? Was it
yeah, yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
Dracula yet? Is
Mm.
that the excuse? Oh, so it was someone else's castle. It was like that when I found it. Why did it turn into kids now? Oh, you
Hmm.
know,
Well,
what do you
so
do?
so Caleb Landry Jones, I think, does a really great job. And if you don't have him in this movie playing Dracula, it's going to suffer a lot. You need somebody who's going to take the material, the character, the stakes extremely seriously. And he's one of those young actors who's very eager to take it deathly seriously, which I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You also have Zoe Blue playing Mina slash Elisabetta. That is, I believe, one of the Arquette's daughters. So she's a Nepo baby. Christoph Waltz, we already talked about earlier, who's very enjoyable in this smaller capacity he's in. I thought it was very interesting how they chose to handle the Jonathan character, because in all forms of this story that we're familiar with, Jonathan is this relatable, even if sometimes pathetic, protagonist that you're following, that you hope he can rescue his love from
Love.
Dracula's
Mhm.
grip. And in this one, they immediately set him up where I couldn't tell if this was Jonathan or this was Renfield, because sometimes you get the Renfield going to the castle version of the story. He's
Yeah.
so dopey and his face is stupid. And
His
he's just kind
mustache.
of he's just like the perfect cuck character where it's just like, I don't want to root for this guy. I don't care about this guy at all. He narrowly survives because he hands over a locket with his wife in it, and Dracula falls in. And you almost start to feel like, okay, well, this must be a total hallucination from Dracula.
Hmm.
Um, and then he summons his gargoyles to bring him blood so he doesn't look so old. He goes over to England, takes out Mina's friend, converts her. Then they go out and hit the town, the three of them. And he's actually a perfect gentleman. He's very considerate of Mina's feelings and not coercing her into all these things. He doesn't use his special perfume that intoxicates people.
Oh yeah.
You
Hmm.
can tell Luc Besson chooses to handle it in a very authentic. No, Dracula actually does care about this woman sort of way, which I found that also refreshing, because throughout all these versions, especially Nosferatu, it's a little bit of the controller, the abuser boyfriend. He doesn't actually care about you. He cares about his projection of you, and he wants to protect that. He wants to control you. That's all such bullshit. It's like, yeah, okay, terrible people will also have affinities for women. They'll also care about certain women. This is not a foreign concept. This is not alien. Hitler had Ava Braun. Their relationship was 100% real. He actually had
And the
feelings
dog.
for that woman and
He had a
dogs.
dog.
Yes.
Yeah. Now
So,
let me ask you something.
yeah.
Who's your favorite cock? Thomas Hutter or Jonathan? Which one of the two do you prefer?
Who is Thomas Hutter?
The character that Nicholas Hoult plays in Nosferatu?
Oh, this one then by default. Absolutely. There's no question about that. Nicholas Holt
Because I
is
feel like
just frustrating to look at for me now.
they're both the same character pretty much, right? I guess you just follow the Nicholas Hoult character a lot more throughout the movie than this one. This one's kind of like a just like a side
Nicholas
character.
Holt plays the character in such like a whiny, sniveling, just like "Ugh," sort of way, and you're stuck with him, and you're supposed to root for him, and you can't because he
Yeah.
sucks.
Yep.
And this guy,
This
they don't
Jonathan
even
is just
bother.
kind
It's
of
like, nah, Dracula. Who's the lead character? Dracula.
yeah.
Dracula's the star of the movie. So
And they just treat him like what he is.
yeah,
So I guess yeah,
in being
it's kind
able
of
to
pathetic.
divorce, okay, this is Dracula. We're using the Dracula characters, we're using the storyline, but we're handling it in a different way. I think once you can accept that, everything else runs much smoother. And I thought the movie was terrific overall. I was really surprised by it, and I like the fact that because I was wondering how they're going to end this movie because I believe in the book or whatever. Mina goes back to wanting to be with Jonathan, and then that's that. It was all
Hmm.
a spell. She never wanted to be with Dracula. And then in the Nosferatu movie, she lets Nosferatu fuck her, and then they burn up together at sunrise and they
Yep.
both die. In this movie, you get something a little in between. Jonathan's like, I saved you. And he walks in and she's just sobbing into ashes and looks at him. And she's just like, oh, now I got to go back to this guy.
Yeah. She's like,
Yeah.
ugh.
And he's like, oh, fuck. All right. I'll see my way out. And then that's kind of the end. That's it.
Yeah, it's a different change of pace that you usually get with this type of monster movies, I guess. The last attempt at Dracula was that Dracula Untold?
No, 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 no. We've had. You mean like a big budget a
Yeah.
stab at Dracula? Oh man,
I mean, ignoring Nosferatu, which is not officially Dracula, I guess, but would it be Dracula Untold? I think that was the last one when they attempted to do that shared universe with those universal monsters,
well
modernized.
that was gonna be the foundation, and
Right.
that obviously didn't take off. I'm trying to think if we're missing anything between there. Like for TV, they've done it a couple of different ways. I know BBC did that, Sci-Fi did that, but no, I think that was it for movies because it's kind of hard to market these films today to younger people because young people are like, "That's old. Why should I give a shit about that?" What? Oh, what? We haven't seen Dracula before, So they're much
Ah,
more sparing in those attempts.
Dracula 2000. Remember that movie?
Gerard Butler's Dracula, yeah, I watched that
Yeah.
kind of recently. It was not good. It was still very not good. It did not
It's very,
become charming with age.
no, just very 2000s in the worst way possible.
Oh yeah.
Let me see. We have Van Helsing 2004, Dracula 3D 2012. Didn't even know that. Oh, Argento did that. Oof. And you don't want to see a Dario Argento movie in 2012. Dracula Untold was 2014. That was the last one that I can
That
find at
was
least.
Luke Evans, wasn't it?
Yes, I think so. Who directed it? Gary Shore. Remember Gary Shore? Gary Shore from Obituary. It's a TV
You're
series. Sorry,
looking at
not
his
that.
filmography and you don't even know. So no,
Uh,
I think Dracula is you gotta. I think the thing that is not conducive with the modern industry is that they feel they would need to make Dracula in a unique fashion, right, and make it something that you haven't seen before. And in doing that, you overthink what
mm,
makes Dracula an interesting property or where you can take it. You don't necessarily need to build upon it. You can deliver the same story over and over and over again. It's going to have a different effect with a different cast, different screenwriter, director, and all that. It looks like they're getting into that with a Christmas story, not a Christmas story, sorry, a Christmas Carol next year. between Ty West and then who's the other one? Eggers is doing it. Eggers is doing it with Willem Dafoe. Is it just paying this guy to think outside the box? Fucking Eggers. And then Ty West is doing it with Johnny Depp and Ian McKellen and the boss from Severance.
Didn't that happen a couple of years ago where you had big directors doing Christmas Carol movies? Who's the one that did Zemeckis did the Jim Carrey animated one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then was it was it another one of those, or was it like a Scrooge movie that I think came out around the same time where we had two similar movies, or am I misremembering that? Because I think there was a time where there was a couple of very similar, Scrooge movies out, but I
I think there were
can't
two
think.
animated Christmas Carol movies. One was Scrooge, one was Christmas Carol. I don't know. Maybe we're
Oh,
maybe not. But I feel like that's more likely than them having done a live action one.
Scrooge came out in 2022, and a Christmas, fuck you, Christmas Carol was 2009. It's been that long. I saw that in the theater. Oh my God. Okay, then I guess I'm misremembering.
A
I guess it
Christmas
was
Carol is a good ripe property too for adaptation. I think the best versions of that have already been done, but there's still room to try it out. George C. Scott,
George C.
maybe the
Scott. Yeah.
best Scrooge. I don't know if it's the best adaptation, probably not. But I also really like the 19, I think it was 1930s one. It's only like 80 minutes long. There's so many between 1920 and 1950,
51. Yeah. I
but there's
like
an
their
early
sim.
one that I thought was really solid. I watched I think Thomas Edison might have done a silent film one. That one was
There's
okay, I
an
guess.
Edwin L. Martin from 38.
Can you pull
Uh,
that up real quick so we can take a look?
yeah.
Patreon.com/Lars if you'd like to watch the video with us. We're going to watch the, highly elusive 1930s A Christmas Carol that you cannot find anywhere. It's surely not in the public domain, or
Is
maybe
Dracula
not.
public domain?
Yeah, Dracula's public domain.
Okay.
We're taking a look at this. Okay. Is this the Christmas Carol that I enjoy? Let me see. Mm, I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll know when I see the Scrooge.
Tight-fisted, as
That's
miserable
him,
an
I think.
old windbag as ever faced
Ooh,
election plate goes by. He'll probably remind many of
Is
you
there
of
one
your
before
landlord.
well,
38?
But
it's
you,
not silent, so I
No, no,
guess
no,
it's
no,
not.
no, no, no. It's that. No, that's a different one. Was there one before 38 that's not silent?
Let's see. Christmas Carol. Who's Carol? 38. No, 2019. 99, 2004. Jesus Christ. Okay,
Hmm.
can I just do this? I can't do like chronologically. This website sucks.
51,
Um,
38. Maybe it was the 38 one I was thinking about, but I feel like there's two in the 30s.
54.
1910.
Wonder what that is. Uh, 2021, 1923,
No, I guess it must have been the
14.
1938 one. I don't know. At first glance, I did not recognize it, Scrooge. But they all kind of look the same, don't they? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. 40. Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol. When they were making that one into a movie. What about My Daddy's Scrooge? The fuck? Hell yeah. A Christmas Carol turns into a Christmas
Mar
choral.
Vista Entertainment.
Yeah.
Mar
What about
Vista
this
is a
one?
name you can trust.
Albert Finney playing Ebenezer Scrooge.
I mean, that's not a bad pick, but I don't know. What is this, a musical?
I don't know.
Anyway, 38 Christmas Carol, best one. That's my take. That's my opinion.
You want to check out this miniseries from 2020?
What the fuck?
Expect the lust ghost when the bell tolls one, or is it just? Let's say lust.
It
This looks
looks like
horny.
lust to me. I don't
This
know.
looks like a horny cover for one of those old lady books.
160 minutes? God damn. Okay, let's
Hell
take a
yeah.
look.
Like,
Stock footage Christmas Carol.
okay.
This sucks. This is just a candle. Nope. This is fuck. This is not a real trailer.
Yeah.
Someone paid. Actually, they didn't pay anything. They just downloaded free stock footage. Is this a play?
Well, I guess it makes sense that the candle is the poster, right? That's all we see. And that
Oh, it's
fucking
an audio drama. That's why.
oh yuck.
You know the
To
thing I
offend
like
you.
about. Oh God, you got to
In
turn that
what way
off.
can I help you, sir?
Sounds horrible. Sorry.
Is that my doctor? Wow. All
uh,
right. Well,
anyway,
congratulations to the community theater 160-minute long Christmas Carol audio drama. We'll be performing that this Christmas. That's our Christmas special this year. It's a Christmas Carol.
are we doing a we're doing a table read of something as a Christmas special, but we're doing
We
it
could
all
definitely
wasted.
do that. I'm sure there's an easily downloadable Christmas Carol script somewhere.
All
So
right.
we just got to
Send
figure
your
out
ideas.
casting.
Send your ideas in the comments. Which movie should we do which Christmas movie should we do as a table read?
Lethal Weapon. Mass State Lottery.
Again, let's read the
Again.
whole thing again.
People have been
Yeah.
asking, when is the Blu-ray coming out? When is the Blu-ray coming out? How about this? Pre-orders for the Blu-ray are going to be going up on mslfilm.com this month. So keep your eyes peeled. If you are interested and you collect physical media, this is a drop you will not want to miss. All right.
Oh,
Dracula, A
wait.
Love Tale.
Before
What?
we
Yeah.
before we close up, I just want to mention this because I don't think we'll mention it ever again, because why will we? I watched 20 minutes of that Welcome to Derry show, and it's a big piece of shit. It stinks. It's terrible. It's horrible. Everything about it. Like I didn't like one thing. And knowing I even thought that when like I thought the car scene was gonna be more interesting than it was because of the way you described it. And then it happened, and I was just like, this just sucks. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no tension, there's no nothing. It's just like, yeah, it's terrible. So 20 minutes, that's as far as I made it. And I don't think I'm coming back.
No, no. You will not be saying, you will not be seeing a sign that says "Welcome to Derry" again. So it's a terrible show. It's a horrible
Yeah.
show. I'm looking forward to seeing Begonia this week. I was actually going to see it today because it's discount theater
Hmm.
ticket day. And then the one convenient time that would have worked with our two shows we're recording this evening happens to be subtitled in English, which they never do. It's just like a specific fuck you to me for the most
Yeah.
convenient time. So
Yep.
great, great stuff.
Well, that's when the Mexican families come out.
Yeah, you're right. They get off work. Anyway,
Hmm.
Dracula Love Tale. It's still kind of a weird year for movies. I'm going to count this as a 2025 film, even if it is a 2026 film. It's up there for me. I thought this was a very solid piece of like blockbuster entertainment, and it's done well. It's acted well. There are some corny moments, like whenever, and this feels like an old man, and not even like full old man, because Luc Besson, I don't believe, is that old. I think he's in his 60s. Um, Flourishes where you get like a Zack Snyder style, like a poor man Zack Snyder style, slow down, freeze frame, and then like hit, attack. Don't do that shit, especially since you know this is a love story. I understand you want to like throw in CG because I guess there's simpletons in France or Italy or wherever the fuck you're promoting this movie, and you need something to sell the movie to them with. But you don't need to do that. It just didn't look good.
Yeah.
Um, mm,
Stick to your strengths.
yeah, I mean, honestly, you would say that's his strength, though. Historically, that's the type of movie he makes, right?
Mm. Yeah, I guess.
But people reference Leon because it's a pedophile love story, right?
I've never seen it either. So
All right, well, that'll be next week on movies, I guess. I
there you
don't
go.
know. All right, if you guys want to sign up and get some exclusive episodes of the show right now, such as video episodes like this one, go to patreon.com/lowres and sign up in the $5 tier. If you want to sponsor an episode and pick a film for us to watch and talk about, same spot, patreon.com/lowres. You're just signing up for a little bit more money. And like I said at the beginning of the show, we're going to be doling out some themes in the months to come. We're going to be leveling up, adding more production value to the program in 2026. So, without further ado, that has been Movies for this week. Thank you for listening.